Okay, guys, we're recording. This light is horrible, and I look totally haggard. So, for those of you who are watching this on replay, so sorry. My name is Alexa Huffman. I go by Lex, and I am a double diamond leader with It Works Global. I have two wonderful people who I'm going to be interviewing tonight for some just regular signing tips for both LCs and distributors. And I'm going to also just pour into you guys after this. We do have a little visitor, so please bear with me until Connor gets home. So I'm going to jump straight into the interviews, and then I'm going to go into my portion and open Q&A at the end of this. Hang on one sec. Got to. Okay, stop. Can you just chill out? No. We're going to chill here for a sec. Okay, so first I'm going to be interviewing Nathalia. I call her Nat. She's a Ruby leader on this team, and I'm going to pull up her questions really quick. But first, Nat, if you want to unmute yourself and just start with like 1 to 2 minutes or whatever of just your story, why you joined the business, maybe like some because of It Works moments or whatever, but just a little bit about your story. And we have some leeway on time now since I upgraded this.
Okay, I'm really bad at storytelling because I go off on 500 different tangents, so bear with me all. But of course, I'm Nathalia. I'm a Ruby leader. I am a mother. I have a 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old son who's absolutely nuts and literally has me on my toes 24/7. And I basically joined It Works because I just wanted some extra cash and was like, okay, well, actually Matt's literally was the one that messaged me, like probably I think a month after she joined or something like that. And we were both kind of like, question mark, what the hell are we doing? And I was just like, sure, like whatever, I'll go for it. See what it does for me. Like, I'm like, I know a lot of people, and I don't mean that like coggishly, but like I just know a lot of people. So I was like, okay, this might work, or people might be like, what the hell? And basically I just joined because I want to, of course, who doesn't want extra money, but because I was in a really bad position, I was in a tough position, and I was like, I just need anything I can get at this point. And if this really works, like I won't know until I try it. So of course, a couple plans that I want in life are to travel like with Chunky. I want to be able to get my family out of the rut that we're in all the time, or what felt like was all the time at times. But yeah, I just want to like provide a life for my siblings and my mom and my little guy that like my parents really tried hard to provide us with. And a couple of my because of It Works moments were I've got some cool family friends. Y'all became my families and my friends, and my little chunky man gets to grow up where like we hang out a lot with Lex and Mads, and so they've got little ones, and so like our little guys get to hang out together, and that's just, it's gonna be really cool to have them grow up together and see like how we are just building our business together. And of course, like we get to travel. I have yet to travel. I really wanted to go to Green Carpet, and I had every plan in the world, but unfortunately life happened and I wasn't able to go. But I was super excited watching it from home and seeing all the stories there. And yeah, so that's just a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm really bad at telling one story. It goes off to 27 tangents. So it's kind of about me.
Oh, yay! Oh my gosh, hang on one sec.
Well,
sorry, I'm trying to walk upstairs. Hang on.
You're good. I wish I had other things to say while she's walking up the stairs. Like, I don't really know what I'm saying. Let's see, y'all don't make fun of me, but I literally wrote down a whole last page of notes. So, sorry, I probably shouldn't say that. So that's another thing about me is I have a trucker's mouth.
Oh my gosh, no. You're fine. No, this is perfect. I'm just trying to get myself situated. Finally, Connor.
Oh, one thing I could probably say while you're situating yourself is, I don't know if y'all knew, but like I used to work in a hospital, or like I still technically do, but I had a full-time position in the ER, and I absolutely love my job and I love working in the ER. And I came upon a situation last month where it forced me to quit my full-time position, and because of It Works, I'm still able to continue to work. And even though I'm allowed to pick up shifts at the hospital, I'm not allotted a lot of hours. And so building my business for me has been super important this month, because come next month when I have probably no other income, like I really want to be able to be on my feet and not freaking out about what to do. So that's another little thing about me.
Yay. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. So let's go into our first question. Now that I'm fully not a mess, JK, I'm always a mess. So, my first question for you is, you have been signing loyal customers and distributors, like both, like crazy the last couple weeks. And not that that's like abnormal for you. You've always enrolled, but man, the mass enrollments that are coming through recently are insane. So what are you doing, or what are you doing differently, since obviously we're in boom season and it's booming for you?
Okay, so I never believed the term planting season before this month. Like like I said, I worked full time in the ER, so that was over 50 hours a week. Like, and I mean a week. I would spend multiple 24-hour shifts in the hospital, and it was rough. It was really, really rough. So when I tell you that following up with people, messaging people was real on the hours that I was struggling over there, between like 3 a.m. and 6 or whatever, were times that like I would really take time to like sort out what I was doing. So I keep a binder. This thing goes everywhere with me. I go to the store, it comes with me. I literally run down to get gas and it comes with me. It does not go anywhere without me. And basically I've just made little different sections with like my PLC follow-ups, my DT follow-ups, and literally everybody and anybody's name that I speak to goes in this journal. And this thing has been my life, and I carry it around, like I said, everywhere I go. But that is just kind of how I keep track of people. As far as like following up and stuff, just being consistent in messaging and posting and being in my stories, and not just like all the stories that are made for us and everything, just like sharing things about my life outside of It Works as well. And then incorporating It Works just has been super for me. Like I have one of my newbies, I don't think she's on here, I think she's in work, who has literally watched me for months. And every month, every so and so, she'll ask a question, or she asked a question or whatever. And I had signed one of my other DTs the other night while I was at the gym. It literally was telling Mads and Lexus last night. I was running on the treadmill, and I was like, God damn, like, I don't run. I was like, oh man, this is a lot for me. Like, and I just started getting all these messages all of a sudden, because I had posted something about being at the gym. And like, everyone loves when I post videos with me and Sam, because Sam is my little brother. He's just crazy. And like, it gets attention because it's stuff about me. It's personal, where it comes from my family, how my family is a shit show and we are just nuts. But like, when I share stuff about that, people are like, okay, she's not just sharing stuff about It Works. It's not just all about It Works. It's personal. And so that was super big for me. I just recently actually learned that. It was maybe last month where I started doing that. Like, there would be some times where I'd be in on my coffee story, and Sam would pop in and just like be like, whoa, like spouting off a bunch of crap that he spouts off. And it attracted people. I started, like, my story started getting more, like, I don't want to say 100, but like maybe 2 times the amount of people that were watching it. And I was like, oh, and I'm like, Sam, I'm sorry, but you was about to be in my coffee store every morning because you're attracting the people. And like, I need your hype in my life. So he's really funny. I love him. But I was at the gym running, and I had signed one of my DTs, Chrissy. I don't think she's on here right now. But I had signed her. So I posted her little like, hey, welcome. Like, I'm super happy to have you on my story. And my other gal that I was initially talking about, this is what I tell you, I'm really bad at selling stories. So the initial gal had messaged me and was like, hey, I saw that you just signed her. Like, I know we've been talking about it. We need to get this going. And I was like, do you have a minute? She's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, great. So literally signed her like that. But when I tell you planting season was the whole point of that long tangent, it's a real thing. Like, if you feel like your months are slow or you're not getting anywhere, you feel like messaging is getting nowhere, I promise you it is getting you somewhere. Like, people are watching you. People are watching your stories. They're like, okay, this girl's doing this. Like, I want to see how long she goes with it before they learn to trust you. That's a real thing. I didn't learn that until this month. So I know I've been signing like nuts, but when we got our half off codes, for me, that was a huge, like, okay, I have only 5. And I have certain people I know who are ready to like change their lifestyle. They're ready to run. They're ready to do this. And I need to offer it to them before I go offer it to other people, because I've been talking to them and they're, like, hey, I see you're doing this, like, congratulations or whatever. And they're just the ones that you want to stick with, that continue to ask you questions, even if they ghost you for months after they ask you a question, or they swipe up, say, hey, I want this. And then you go to say, like, okay, like, let's do this. And they decide that they don't want to do it anymore. It's fine. It just means that they're watching you. It just means that they want to know what you're doing, how you're doing it, what you're doing for it. And for me, planting season was a real thing. So I can tell you, I went months where I was like, I feel like I'm doing nothing but messaging, and it's not getting me anywhere. But we just literally hit 2 weeks in October, and I've signed 4 DTs and 5 LCs, and that's a ton for me. Like, that's a lot. I don't think I've done that in that short amount of time ever. So planting season, that's a real thing. I have to check my notes because I went off on a 900-minute tangent to see.
Okay, while you do that, I have things to add on.
Yeah.
So a couple things that I wanted to point out. Number one, the amount that she has signed is not just insane for her right now. Like, that's up on like where I'm signing. Okay. So when we talk about work like a double diamond, she's enrolling like a double diamond. So watch out for her promotion announcement at the end of this month, because this girl is on fire. But not only that, I want to just kind of break down what she's talking about with planting season, because we have so many newbies on this Zoom. When she talks about planting season, we're talking about literally like a garden. Okay, it works. This business is now your garden, and your potentials are those seeds. So when you're talking to people and you're messaging or whatever, and you're getting discouraged because no one's responding, we say you're planting, because regardless of whether or not that person responds, they're watching you. And she even said that there's so many people who have been watching her that are now joining her, because especially with distributors, y'all, and I'm a mass distributor enroller, so I'm going to say this because I'm allowed to, but like, people are waiting and watching and begging for you to fail. Because all of the preconceived notions that they have about this business and about you and about our products is that it doesn't work. Okay? And Mark jokes all the time saying, if this doesn't work, we'd have to change the name. No, he's being serious. Our products work and the business works. And when you prove and show people that you've stuck it out, not because you've stuck it out because like, I just want to have fun. No, I'm sticking it out because this is going to work for me and my family. And notice how I said it's going to, regardless of whether or not it's working for you in this moment, it will. So that kind of segues into my next thing of people quit before the getting gets good, y'all. Okay? When we say, and if you haven't looked it up, Mads, hopefully you can put this in the chat for me really quick, or Jay, someone who's watching. Okay, hang on. Before I even continue, y'all know how I am about having your cameras on when I'm doing videos. So I don't care if I'm staring at your ceiling. I don't care if like I can't see anything. It's just a respect thing. I'm taking the time out of my day to show you my face and to pour into you. So please show me the same respect of just popping on. Please and thank you. Love it. Okay. So quitting before the getting gets good. There are so many people, and this will segue into my next point too, that join this business. There are hundreds of thousands of people who have joined this business. The people who stick it out, last month, we had only 65,000 distributors paid who were actively working. 65,000 people out of how many billion people on this planet, right? We're in 24 different countries, y'all. 60,000 people. That's like less than the population of West Lynn. Okay? Like, think about it. A freaking city. So when we talk about giving this is what I was going to say. Whoever can put this in the chats, like one of the leaders, please. Jocelyn Yates, give it a year. If you have not watched this video on YouTube, your very first homework assignment when you're off this is giving it a year. Because there's a cycle to this business, and especially because we have a 3-month program. Like, this is not a get rich quick scheme. If you join this business expecting to make a couple $100 overnight, you probably shouldn't have joined because what you think you joined was a pyramid scheme. You don't just join and make money. You're building an MF fucking empire, okay? This is your boss babe empire. These are the people's lives that you're changing. Give it time, okay? So you're going to watch Jocelyn Yates, give it a year. As soon as you're done with this, I'm not going to beat it into the bush. Y'all can watch the video and she'll beat it into the bush for me. The other thing that I wanted to add on, just sorry, I know I'm like totally taking over, but you had so many good points. And the last thing that I wanted to say about what you were saying was, oh, actually two things. One, really quickly, you're doing really well at attraction marketing. So when you were talking about not posting spammy Pinterest photos or whatever, you guys, your potentials, regardless of whether they're loyal customers or distributors, want to see your face. Mads and I gave Nat so much crap about this, and she can go into it in length in a second if she wants to, but we gave her so much shade for like 6 months because we were such good friends about not posting her face. And I'm like, Nat, nobody wants to see your freaking coffee mug 4 times every day. And that's not any shade on her because she's freaking amazing and she's killing it. Y'all know she's killing it. Okay, I'm just saying that because like I can. But the point is, nobody wants, people go on social media not to be informed. They want to be entertained. Are you being entertaining? Is your face more entertaining, or is a picture of a plastic mug off Pinterest more entertaining? Right? So just think about that. Think about what you as the consumer would want to enjoy. So using yourself. The other thing was being selective with your codes. I think it's really important that you pointed that out because there are so many people that want to join this business. And when it's $20 codes, it's one thing. When you like, it's unlimited and it's company wide and we're doing a company wide discounted kit, you don't need to be selective. Enroll anyone and anyone who wants to be enrolled, even if they're a freaking dog, as long as they have a social security number, because that's going to be you getting more fast starts, right? And if you don't know what fast starts are, again, I'm not going to go into too much detail. You can ask me after this Zoom or ask your upline about what those are, since we do have so many newbies on this. But essentially, they're unlimited weekly $100 bonuses that the company offers us, right? But when you're only given, like she's saying, she bought her conference ticket, she was only given 5 codes. She only has 5 select people who are going to be able to join for half off. So she's being selective in which she's not going to just allow anyone who wants this free $250 worth of product to herself. She wants people, and she made a comment of ready to run, people who see the vision, people who've been waiting to join this business. Sorry, I drank wine, so I'm like hiccupy, but people who join this business because they want this. And because they want this just as much as you do, okay? So don't just give your 5 codes out to anyone because they're going to be kit stealers, right? They just want the $250 worth of product for $50. So find the people who truly want this with you and work with them. Anyways, we're gonna move on to the next question because I've talked way too long.
I just wanna say, I'm gonna act like I'm not shady from the shade you just threw at me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay. So my second question is, you have been working full-time up to this point, and you still do work a lot of hours, even though it's now at this point optional. How do you stay motivated and consistent with being a mom, being a full-time employee, trying to run a business? Like, your family life, I know even just from personal experience, is really busy. So how are you dealing with that?
Okay, so this one was actually really easy for me to answer. And I'm probably going to say like 500 things. But one of the first things that I want to say is, I've been telling my new DTs is keep your goals in front of you. Like, have like literally all my glasses right here. Like, I pretend like all my goals are written. I'm like, that's all I can see, are what I want to get to, where I want to be, and how I want to get there, who I want to get there with, especially. But that's one thing is, like, I keep telling myself, like, if I keep saying it, if I tell myself I'm going to do it, I'm going to get there. So my thing is, think it, say it, achieve it. Those are my 3 things. I was telling one of my DTs this morning, she was like, I don't feel like I'm going to get my goal, because I set her a goal and was like, let's work to your 4 DTs by the end of the week. And she was like, I don't think I'm going to get there. And I said, okay, then you're not. Like, if that's the way you see it, I'm sorry, then you're not going to get there. If you tell yourself you're not going to get there, if you tell yourself you don't want to achieve what you wanted to achieve, then that's how it's going to be. Like, you can only make that for yourself. But the other beauty of our business is it's totally on our own time. It is when we have time. It is when we can do it. It is all about us. So my other thing is how I stay motivated is I just find little times here and there, little increments. If Zayden's out playing around like a crazy person on his bike right here in the backyard, well, I say, great, I'm going to take 30 and I'm going to send out 25 messages. I'm going to take 5 minutes and I'm going to react to people's stuff so that they know that I'm here, I'm watching them, and I'm like, hey, I think you'd be great at this, whatever. I just increment, I think I want to say, I'm trying to think of the word I'm trying to say. I make little.
You're intentional with your time.
Yeah, okay, I make little times here and there and I'm productive with them. And like I was saying earlier, when I worked in the ER and I was doing my 24-hour shifts, multiple or 19-hour shifts or whatever hour shifts I was doing, I would literally be like, I have to go to the bathroom, I'll be back. And I would literally disappear for 10 minutes. People thought I probably had IBS. And I was like, I don't even care. I'm literally in the bathroom right now sending 20 messages because I know where I need to be. I know where I want to be. And I'm not going to get there unless I do it for myself. Nobody else can do it but myself. And that was one thing that I wish I had practiced a little more previously. Because I feel I knew that. I knew where I wanted to be. I knew that I was the only one that could get myself there. I knew that, but I don't think I really told myself that until maybe last month. If I'm being truthfully honest, maybe last month was when I was like, nobody's going to do this for me until I decide that I want it. I'm going to do it and I'm going to achieve it. So that's my thing is I was explaining earlier where hours are going to go really down. And since I've moved to supplemental at the hospital and I get to pick my hours and choose whatever, come winter time, nobody really goes on vacations. So I saw the schedule for next month and I was like, shoot, I panicked. I was like, okay, well, if there's no hours here, you know what that means? I'm going to work twice as hard. Here I am, proud of my 5 DTs, my 5 new girls who are killing it. And my 4 new girls that are killing it, my 5 LCs that I signed. And I'm like, I have to double that in a week just because I want to do it. Not because I truly have to, not because I need to, but because I want to. And I've got girlies that I want to help started with their business, and I can't boom in my business unless I'm helping my team. There's that whole thing that came around that's called swim down, whatever, help your team swim down. And truthfully, if I'm not helping other people, then am I really doing my job? I'm just being honest. If I am not motivating, if I'm not helping, if I'm not seeing their goals in front of me alongside mine, then I can't truly be the leader that I'm supposed to be.
Oh, that is gold. I loved everything that you just said. I wrote so much down. I'm going to bounce off of you really quick.
Go for it.
That's okay with you. I just like to when you say something, bounce back and forth. So if that style doesn't work for you, just let me know and we can do something else. But, so the very first thing that you said, kind of bringing it back to the initial start of this question, is you have this belief over fear that you didn't have before. And I notice it even as your leader in you, there is so much belief and self-worth that you have now that has overcome your self-limiting beliefs, which kind of goes into my next question of, I know when you were distributor, you weren't listening to a lot of self-development because no one set your soul on fire. We had a really hard time trying to find something that was right up your avenue. And I think a lot of other people have the same issue. They jump to Rachel Hollis or they jump to someone who's really lovey-dovey, and maybe that doesn't kill their vibe or, kills their vibe. Or maybe they switch to somebody like Ashley Mayfield and they shit their pants, pardon my French, and they back into a corner and never want to do anything again. So what was the switch for you, or what did you start listening to, or did you notice that in yourself, that the more you upped your self-development and your mindset, that the rest kind of followed because you were just having a different belief system? I know this isn't on the questions, but
thanks for letting me prep. I'm just kidding. No, I've definitely noticed that where all entirely, I feel a lot has changed in myself in the last month, whether that's literally with my business, with my family, with my mindset, with literally just myself. I have noticed a lot has changed. And I think a lot of it is like, I just ran into a lot of problems with my family recently. And, one thing I've never had from them is their support with my business. And that was like the first thing that I ever did by myself. Like, and that sounds silly because I'm 22 years old and I can make decisions for myself. But like when I started this business, I literally was posting a couple times and actually lied to my mom and was like, oh, Madison's paying me to post this stuff for her. I never told them that, but I literally lied to my mom and I said that. And I was like, because my mom blocked me on Facebook. She's literally sitting outside my room right now, but she blocked me on Facebook because she was like, I don't want to see your shit you're posting, and like, well, and I was like, okay, well then you don't have to. So she didn't know how to delete, so she just straight up blocked me. But I just, like I was saying, like, I want to get to a spot in life where I'm able to support my brothers. One of my youngest brothers goes to USC. He's a freaking political science major, or will be. My other brother is going to go to Centralia and he's going to play baseball for a couple of years, and then he's going to move to a university and he's signing on November 1st. And like, I just have a lot going on for them that I'm super excited about. And I want to be able to get to a spot where I can go to USC and I can see my brother for a couple weeks, or I can go to Centralia, stay the weekend, watch Sam play a couple games or whatever. Like, my parents tried so hard to give us a life that we could live lavishly. And they did an amazing job. They really did. I can't thank them enough for all they've done. And I just want to get to a spot where I'm able to give back to my mom that way. And so I didn't completely figure that out in my head or like believe that I wanted to do it. I knew I wanted to do it, but I didn't ever believe that I could do it. So changing my whole mindset, I don't actually know what happened. One morning I just woke up and was like, yeah, I'm ready to get some shit done. Like, I'm tired of living the way I'm living. I'm tired of paycheck to paycheck. I'm tired of
even like you just said earlier, not to cut you off, but just goes directly with your point of what you said earlier. And I kind of like derived this from what you were saying, but you decided that there was no plan B. Essentially, you quit your job / had to leave your work because of your personal situations, whatever. But you made a conscious choice. And I can't tell you how many times you will hear that of leaders talking on Zooms. It is about making a decision to make this work for you. It is a conscious choice, y'all. Okay, I'm going to tell you that right now. And it starts from your mindset. So I freaking love that. You have given so many fire tips. I can't even like believe it. So let me look at our last question. Did you have anything else to add before I ask your last?
No, not really, except for Ashley Mayfield is my kind of vibe because I'm like totally crazy. Like, I can't get my shit together, and I feel like she's literally me. So she just has purple hair and she's a lot tinier. Anyways, that was all.
He's the best. And her podcast is amazing. Okay, so my last question for you is, if you had to give one specific tip for someone who feels like they're stuck at their rank, or maybe they're new to this business and they just feel like I'm spinning on a hamster wheel and I'm not enrolling, but I'm doing all the things.
Okay, so this is going to sound super cliche and super like, oh, I knew she would say this kind of a thing, but like, keep going. Literally just keep going. Like I was saying earlier, the only thing you can do to achieve your own goals is to work your ass off. And like I was saying earlier, I didn't ever feel like I was really succeeding at my business when I was messaging people and I was posting and I was every day, whatever. But then I look back, like today, I was earlier this morning when I was like prepping for this and was like, oh my God, what am I going to say? I have nothing to give these people. Like, I'm freaking out. I was looking at my Instagram and I was like, never once did I stop posting. Never once did I not post a story, even if it was, like I was saying, incorporating my regular life. Like, people like that. They want to know about you outside the business as well. And then they want to know about your business. Like Lex said it best, where they want to see you fail. And I'm determined to prove my family wrong, where I can make something out of this by myself. I don't need their support. I don't need their help. Whatever. Granted, Sam's come around and now loves the coffee story deal, but just keep going. Like, if you want something, like I was saying, my 3 things are think it, say it, and achieve it. That's just my things. Like, that's what I'm going by. And that's how my whole mindset changed when I decided that I wanted to do it. I'm going to do it, and that I'm going to do it for myself. I'm not going to do it for anybody else but myself. And that's because if they choose not to support me, that's totally fine. That's their choice. I don't need their support. I mean, granted, I would love it, but I don't need it. Like, I have dreams, I have goals I want to achieve, and I'm not going to do that unless I do it for myself. And granted, I want to take my whole team with me. I want my team to achieve their goals, and that motivates me, and that makes me excited. So if you feel like you're struggling, literally, consistency is literally what it is. Like, you just have to be consistent. It's kind of all.
Somebody cut you off. I muted them. So, oh my gosh, like, so much gold in that whole statement. I can't even. But one thing that I wanted to point out that you said is, well, actually two things. But number one, you guys, you can feed the dogs, but you can't force them to eat. Does that make sense? There's wolves in a pack. We are the wolves. We are the pack. Okay. No, we're all, there's hundreds of us. We're all standing in a circle, and some guy throws down all this meat, and there's going to be the pansies in the back that don't have the balls enough to come forward and grab the meat. And that may sound mean, but survival of the fittest. Okay. And one thing that I wanted to point out later, but I'm going to just say it now because this perfectly segued. You all, damn near every single person that has joined my team, and you guys, I yell, so if you're new, like, watch out. Not because I'm mad, but because I get so freaking excited, and because I want to help you guys so much that I hope that you hear me, okay? For the people in the back, y'all, including me, want over a $2,000, so well over a full-time income from this business. Drop a 1 in the comments if that's you. You want a full-time income. If you could make over $2,000 to $3,000 a month with this business like it was nothing, would you do it? Yes, one. Love it. Okay, let me give you some numbers. The people who are diamond and above are in the top 1% of the company. Meaning, 1 out of, what is that? 1,000 people go diamond and above, which means you are not average. If your mindset is thinking that you want $2,000 to $3,000 a month with this, you are not average, okay? Which means you cannot put in average or half-assed work and expect a $2,000 paycheck. And I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a business, and you are building an empire of women who are helping other women or men, right? No sexism here. But you can't be naive, and you can't be entitled, and you can't expect this income that you are not willing to work for. So will somebody put in the chat also, I know we put a link to Jocelyn Yates, Give It a Year. Will somebody put the Carrie Young Coin Pusher link in here too? Both of these videos are under 7 minutes. So it should not take you more than 10, 12 minutes to watch both these videos that I'm suggesting. So please, 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 if you're serious about what we're talking about and you're serious about making the income that I'm telling you you want to make with this, and you absolutely can make with this, to watch these videos. So Julia, if you want to unmute yourself really quickly and give us your 1 to 2 minute little spiel about your why, how you joined, how you got started, and maybe like some because of it works moments that you've had.
All right. I'll apologize in advance. I've been sick, so I am a hot mess, but I'm here. I'm Julia. I'm Ruby with It Works, and I like late. I think like 3 days, October 18th, I think makes 1 year for me in the business. And that's something huge I want to touch on, is that I thought I would be so much further along in my business than just Ruby, which not just to say just Ruby, but I expected way more for myself. And that just goes, I'll talk about that more later, but I've been in about a year. almost a year. And before it works, I was working as a store manager, retail store manager, and I worked full time, 40 plus hours a week at least. I just felt like I was babysitting all the time, and I was so over it and burnt out. And I just have worked a lot ever since I moved to Maui, and I just was looking for a change. And I watched Alexa for 6 months. And if you guys don't know, me and Alexa have been friends since high school and kind of became not friends. I won't go into all of that. I never do on here, but we became not friends. And then I still had her on social media, and we still like checked in on each other and stuff. So like there wasn't any like super bad beef, but we just weren't friends anymore. And that's okay. People go different ways, and that's okay. But I was still watching her, and of course, like.
And we're still best friends now. Let's be super clear.
Well, that's to make it full circle. It works brought us back together. So because of it works, Alexa and I are best friends again. So, and I knew her when she went by Alexa, so I call her Alexa majority of the time. So now, because of it works, she goes by Lex. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm ranty. And really congested. So I've been in about a year. I was a retail store manager, and I joined just for a couple extra $100 a month. I really wanted to, my like main goal is to buy a house on Maui. And you guys, like bottom of the barrel house here is like $600,000. That's like junk house. So like buying a house here is a huge thing. Like people think I'm crazy when I tell them that I want like an oceanfront house. I'm like, I'm not kidding, but yeah. So that's my goal, and that has been my goal like since. That's why I started managing, so that I could start saving enough money to do that. I quickly realized that it's really hard to save money and also pay rent and all the things, you know, and it's expensive to live here, just paying rent and groceries and all of that type of stuff. So I finally was like, I was going to get a second job in addition to my management job. And I was like, that's so unrealistic. I have to be like on call at all times, basically. So finally, 6 months after watching Alexa, she bought a house. And I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, I was like, I'm buying a house. So I joined for selfish reasons. I was like, if I can make enough money just to match what I'm saving every month, which I was saving between $200 and $400 a month, which is kind of a lot. But I was living, like I was putting, like that was a lot for me to be saving. But I have big goals, and I've always had big goals. So I wanted, well, they've gotten bigger, but I wanted to be able to match that. So for a few months, I was matching that. I was like doubling the amount of money I was saving. And I was just so overworked. And It Works makes you think bigger because we do self-development and we grow our mind. And that's like absolutely my favorite part about the business is how much I've grown mentally, not even like financially or the fact that I get to help people. Just like you can't be good for someone else until you're good for yourself. And I didn't understand that until like even like the last like couple of months, you guys, has been huge for me. So I'll just cut to the chase. I ended up, I had a couple $1,000s saved, and that was supposed to be for like traveling or if my car broke down, or really my end goal is to buy a house. So that's what it was really for. And I was like, you know what, screw this job. They take advantage of me every single day. I'm underpaid, overworked, and I'm tired of it. And I have this chunk of money I'm sitting on, so I'm going to quit. And I quit, and because of that, I was able to, my best friend graduated nursing school on the other island, so I was able to go over there, and then she was moving back to Maui, so I got to go over there and help her. So I was pretty much on Oahu all of May, and I slacked in my business because I was just having fun. I hadn't like ever not had a job in, like since I started working, you know, so I really slacked, and I don't know what I was gonna say, but I'll just stop there with the about me and go into the next.
Yeah, no, that works great. And I'm gonna finish your sentence for you is that you guys, first of all, one thing that Julia did very well, and then I'm going to point out and praise her for a second, is that she didn't quit her job. And so many people have, like I've had distributors join and quit their job. And again, expect a full-time income, a $2,000 income, which is the top 1% of the people in the company. So you think out of those 60,000 distributors who are being paid, 1% of those people are being paid over $2,000 a month. Okay. I just want to reiterate that. But point being, he knew that she was going to have to live off of her savings for a while. It wasn't that she expected It Works to step up and pay her $2,000 all of a sudden because she quit her job. And she knows that she slacked, right? And that's not to say that she slacked right then, but again, this business is a 3-month process. So if you weren't working hard 3 months ago, or you just joined, the next 3 months, you are going to be working your ass off because you want the $2,000 income in the next 3 months, right? Have 90-day goals for yourself. And so Julia went back to work. She got another job. She's been doing incredible. She's still been extremely consistent with this new job, but she took time off for herself. And one thing that I noticed as a friend and a leader with her is that during that time off, she found herself again mentally. She was able to have the time to do the self-development that she needed. And this kind of segues in my point that I wanted to roll off of you, Jay, is like, it's not about the loyal customers that you need and the distributors that you need. And, oh, I need these enrollments, and, oh, I need people to sign. First of all, you don't need anyone. You are providing a service and an opportunity that will change every single person's life that comes into this company. Stop thinking as yourself as someone who's bothering people, someone who's asking somebody to buy something. No, boo-boo, this isn't about you. This is about the people who you're reaching out to and the people that you are changing their lives financially. These people are able to now pay for their groceries or stay home with their children because of an opportunity that you offered them. My point is just that Julia is so good about finally being able and recognizing that she had to fill her cup before she could pour into you guys. And she needed that time. And I'm not saying that everybody has that buffer of a financial cushion to quit their job and take 3 months off or whatever and go do that. But for her, that was the right decision. So for you, you need to look at what's the right decision for you. Where can I give something up so that I can become the person that I need to become to be a Ruby leader or an Emerald leader or a Diamond leader? Because it literally has nothing to do with your enrollments, and it has everything to do with the person that you are. So who are you, and who are you going to be the next 90 days? Okay, so we'll go into our next question, which is, you, again, been extremely consistent the last couple months. Where is your motivation coming from? Or when and how or why did you truly decide to dive all in? And kind of jump into what diving all in means, because you and I have had that conversation a couple times. So there's kind of a couple questions there. But
okay, I just realized I did not prepare as well as Nat did, but I forgot to say something about the last part too, was that like less than a month into this business, you guys, I bought my conference ticket, and that was huge for me because I had the extra money at the time, honestly, because I was still working my full-time job. But I bought my conference ticket, and I have told Alexa this. I haven't like made this like a huge known thing, but I don't think I would still be in the business, honestly, if I didn't go to conference, because that lit a fire under my ass like nobody's business. And the fact that I flew all the way from Maui to Florida, it was like a $1,200 trip for me, you guys. So that's why I wasn't at green carpet. I quit my job recently, and I did not have, like, genuinely did not have the money to get there, and that's the only reason. But I did buy my green carpet live stream, and that I literally woke up at 4 a.m. and I made my keto coffee, did my coffee story, and I literally like laid in my bed watching it on my shitty computer for the entire afternoon, or morning and afternoon, whatever it was. And I enjoyed all of it. I took notes, and I was so fired up. And so it was just, even though I couldn't be there, I was there in spirit and got to watch it. But can you, remind me what the questions were?
Yeah, no, of course. Okay, so you've been super consistent. So where is your motivation coming from, or when did you decide to dive all in? That's the first question. So, like, where's your motivation coming from? How are you staying so consistent? Like, what's going on, especially now that you have a new job? And then your second question is, what does diving all in mean?
Okay. So I get all of my motivation from self-development. They're like, if I can like have a fire, and if I don't listen to self-development and I do send a bunch of messages for the day or do whatever, if I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is send messages, I never get a good outcome ever if I haven't listened to self-development. And I can listen to something, and if it didn't speak to me, it still doesn't really do anything. And Alexa was probably talking about me, because I'll like always tell her, like, send me something that's going to speak to me, because Rachel Hollis does not do it for me. I need someone to beat me with the freaking brick until it's in my brain and she doesn't do it. Sorry, like soft little whispers and your kind words. No, sorry. I'm like every personality in one. So like yeah, whatever. But self-development, if you're not doing self-development, you're doing yourself like unjust, whatever that word is called. You're not doing yourself a good duty. But self-development. And then, so like I said, I had quit my job and I just had fun and I worked on myself a lot and I figured out my whys. I honed in, like I had to dig in and refocus so many times in the last 5 months. I quit my job in May and I just went back to work last week. So I had 5 full months of just working on myself. I went surfing more. I went to the beach more. I did self-care. I got a routine and I never realized I needed routine until I quit my job, because a job gave me a certain like schedule and like responsibility. So not having a routine and like having to create one out of nothing was huge for me. So my huge thing, so motivation was self-development, and then diving all in for me was getting a routine. What are my non-negotiables? What is my 6 list? Like I've been in the daily push and they do 6 lists, or we're doing 6 lists every single day. And I felt really down on myself when I wasn't completing them exactly how they were. So I made my own and I just started doing my own 6 lists. And I did what works for me, and my 6 list is just my non-negotiables. So I do my coffee story as soon as I wake up in the morning, because I like to have my coffee as soon as I wake up. You guys, if you don't use the products, you are not doing it right. You need to be using the products, be a product of the product. Plus they're just freaking amazing. The coffee helps me not only drink less regular coffee, but it has helped like my internal health so much. I have like, not to be TMI, but I have like gut problems and it's helped me so much. So I just feel so much better. And I've been sick the last like week, but I haven't been sick, you guys. And like, I do not remember the last time I was sick. And I owe it to the greens, I swear, because I put it in my coffee every single day. I swear by it. And I like try to tell everyone all the time, like, you need to be doing the greens. And they're like, yeah, whatever, you're just trying to make money. No, you guys, like I use the product. So be a product of the product. I make my coffee every morning and my self-development. And now that I'm back at work, it's way easier to get those done because I do my coffee and I drive to work and I listen to a book. And what does it for me? When I'm in a funk for lack of a better word, or I can't find something that's speaking to me, or I just can't find that self-development that's really doing it for me, I always turn on 10X by Grant Cardone. If you haven't listened to it, you need to listen to it. I don't know if it's the way he speaks that it just holds my attention, or if it's like what he's saying. I don't know what it is, but it just speaks volumes to me and is always just a really good reminder that whatever you're doing, 10X the hell out of it, because you're probably not doing enough. And that's not to be super blunt, but it's true. And I have to call myself out on that all the time. Like if I'm in a funk and I'm talking to Lex and she calls me out on it, she's like, well, look back. And she's like, do you think there's anything you could have done more of last month? And I'm like, yeah, there's always something more I could have done. Always. No matter if I stayed up till 2 a.m. sending messages or replying to messages, like I always could have done more. I could have stayed up till 4 a.m. You know, there's always something more you could be doing. So push yourself. But diving all in for me, bring it full circle again, was making that 6 list, getting my routine, deciding my non-negotiables, and prioritizing. Prioritizing was so hard for me, you guys. I've always stayed very, very consistent in my business with posting and doing my stories and everything, but not having a job, you kind of lose track of time, and I was drinking a bunch, and just I would get super hungover, and I'd be like, whatever, I'll just work my business when I don't feel like crap or whatever. And I told myself now, like, sister, if you want this and you want to be diamond, you need to pull it together. Pull your head out of your butt and get it done. Like Carrie Young said at our conference, and that's one thing that I know for all of us that were there that stood out the most, was us asking drunk Carrie Young what her number 1 tip was for us. And she basically looked at us like, are you kidding? You're going to ask me this? Just get it done. And I was like, yup. We were all like, yup, that's it. So that's like one of the biggest takeaways I have. So just getting it done. But prioritizing. And then also one thing that's really, really stood out to me lately, this quote, for whatever reason, is it's not about what you want now, it's about what you want most. So just honing in on what I really want and what my biggest goals are and how I'm going to get there. And if what I'm doing today isn't getting me closer to that goal, I'm wasting my time. And I don't have time to waste. I want to get to my goals as soon as possible. But in the same sentence, in the same token, also remembering that your dream is never taking too long. So never giving up. I've never given up. I've never given up on my business, even though I was hoping that I would be making enough money right now to be paying all my bills and pay my rent and all of that and not have to go back to work. I still haven't let it, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to quit because I didn't work hard enough and I didn't get where I wanted to be already, so I'm just going to quit. No, you keep going because it's not anybody's fault except for my own. So realizing that and taking full responsibility for my actions, those are all just compiled what diving all the way in was for me. And then just taking also time for yourself though. So doing things that I love still, like surfing and going to the beach, whatever it is, having my beers, whatever, as long as I'm getting my 6 lists done every single day.
There was so much gold. I was literally biting my tongue, like waiting for you to finish because I'm like, oh my God, she's not going to say anything that was better than what she said before. Oh my gosh, there wasn't anything that she's going to say that wasn't better than before. So that was all so good. And I have so much to add before I ask you your last question. So bear with me. But the very first thing that I want to bring it back to is events. So she stressed the importance of conference. And you guys, if I can stress anything, it's events. Get your live stream ticket for everything in the business. It's a write-off. You're going to get a tax deduction. There are so much tools and tips that when we say, and I just said it in the chats, but when we say show up to go up, it's not because we want to be cute. It's not because there's a lot of cute slogans and cute quotes in this business. It's because there's legitimate statistics to back what we're saying. People who show up to conference seriously promote on such a larger scale than those who don't. Numbers don't lie, okay? So get to conference. There's no excuse. You can get there with fast starts. I don't care if you have $0 in your account right now. You better get to work then because you're going to conference. So that's really huge. And that was and I'll give you guys kind of a backstory. My upline, our upline, Rochelle Coakley, who's a presidential diamond in this company, was a distributor or exec for like over a year. Exec, Mad said, for over a year. And she went to conference and 45 days later promoted to diamond. And that was huge for her. She had been in the business, just like Julia was saying, she was only ruby, like whatever rank you feel at you're at right now, don't feel that things are over for you, because show up to an event, show up to a Zoom. There's going to be one thing that someone says that just clicks for you. Just like we all keep talking about Carrie Young. We've been talking about that quote, those 3 freaking words that she said to us for well over a year. Okay, that stuck with us out of the 12 people that we talked to, because no one is coming to save you. And if that hasn't been clear enough on this Zoom, and if there's one thing that you take away from this, is that no one is coming to save you. Mommy Bear isn't going to come showing up on your front step with $12,000 to come save your and your child's future. It's not going to happen. So what kind of person are you going to show up as for your business today, and for yourself and for your family? Okay, the other thing is color personality tests. We've been talking a lot about our type of personality, the people who speak to us or who don't. If you haven't taken a color personality test, that's the very first thing you should be doing. That's what I have my my distributors do right off the bat, is take a personality test, because I'm very red. And if you haven't been able to tell on this call, I'm very hardcore. I can come off very intimidating, or like I'm angry with you or whatever, when really I'm just so extremely passionate that my inflection and the tone of my voice raises, because I'm automatically like so much more excited about it. That's just how I get. So it's nothing personal. And I just want to, again, because there's so many newbies on here, I hope that I'm not scaring you off, but I'm so serious about this, because however you treat this business is how your audience is going to treat it, i.e. your team and your potentials. You can sign, and I'm the epitome of this, I can sign all day long. I have no problem working this business and doing enrollments, but are you going to be the person that bulldozes over your entire team like I did for the first 8 months? Or are you going to, like Nat was saying and Julia were saying, swim it down, work with the people on your team who are working, get them to events, show them, this is all about replication, show them how to host Zooms or what conference is going to do for them or how to earn that weekly bonus or whatever, because ultimately, you guys, it's the small wins in this, but it is also the big picture. Okay, we have our small goals and we have our big goals, and we have to be constantly working towards it too. So showing up to events is so huge. Getting your personality color in check so that you know the kind of leader that you need to be towards your team. Or maybe you can better understand, if you don't have a team yet and you're new, how your leader is portraying themselves to you, and just know their color personality too, so that you don't feel offended by certain things that they say, or you don't take it personally when really they're just trying to give you constructive criticism. That's a really hard line with leaders. So give them some grace there. The other is, you said your non-negotiables. And I love this because we talk so much about 6 lists. I don't give a shit how many things you do every single day, as long as you get your stuff done, right? This is a job. Think of it as a job. This is a business, okay? If you didn't show up to your job 3 days in a row, guess what's going to happen? Drop in the chats. Take a guess. You don't show up, no call, no show to your job for the next 3 days. Drop in the chats. I'm serious. What's going to happen? What is your employer going to tell you when you no call, no show for 3 days? Bye. Fired. Yep. Okay. So if Mark Pentecost called you tomorrow and asked what you did for your business tonight, what did you do? If your team did what you did today, would you be happy? Okay, these are all questions to start asking yourself. Product of the product. If you don't have your own results, you guys, would you ever buy something? Think of your favorite restaurant. I don't even want you to think about the business for a second. Think about your favorite restaurant, your favorite clothing store. I'm going to use Target as an example because I freaking love Target. I buy such cute shoes from Target. Okay, I like go to Target, I pick up some new shoes. I'm like, oh girl, look at my new shoes. I'm like posting it on my story, like sending people videos. I'm like telling all my friends. They're like, oh, where'd you get it? I'm like, girl, Target, they were less than $25. Like, there's all this stuff. That's the same thing as doing this business. You are telling people about what you are excited about. If you bought a new pair of shoes because you're so freaking stoked, imagine what somebody who's been trying to lose 20 pounds for the last 3 years feels like after they drink the keto coffee and greens for 3 months and they've lost 30 pounds. How can you feel like they imagine? Word of mouth is everything, okay? So get your own results. Use the products that came in your kit. I know your first gut reaction is to sell those samples because all you're focused on is making your money back, but really, would you rather have instant gratification of $25 now, or would you rather have the long-term effects of a customer who watches you take the coffee for 3 months, you get your own results, and now they're a lifelong customer ordering the Mocha Dream from you every single month just to maintain their perfect weight? Which would you rather have? Instant gratification, long-term effects. The other thing that you said was, what I kind of took from it was priorities over organization. I am very red and I'm super blue. Okay. So I'm super fiery and I love to have a lot of fun. I am the least organized person you will probably ever meet. Maz is making a face because not only is she the same, but also my laundry, the things in my house, like I am so unorganized. It's disgusting. And if you know me, you know, okay, I'm not a gross person, but all my Lanta, my laundry will sit there for a month before I actually do it. And that's because I don't have those organizational skills. But what I will tell you, yes, Nat, thank you. But what I will tell you is I use priorities like no one's business. So what I do is I will literally make, and you can be to a fault with this, so I'm going to preface it with that, but I make to-do lists. I make a to-do list every single day for my personal life and for my business. And what I stopped doing as of recently when I listened to a Zoom is we can sit here all day long and pretend like we can control our enrollments based off of our productivity. But the reality is that you can't. You cannot predict your enrollments. You can say all day long that you're going to sign 2 loyal customers. I'm going to sign 2 distributors today. But the problem is that you're making the wrong goals for yourself. It's not about signing 2 loyal customers today. It's about being fucking consistent in your business every single day. That means showing up for your team. That means posting. That means messaging. That means growing your network. You guys know the 6 list. It just means showing up. Stop focusing on your enrollments and focus more on your action. What are you doing every single day to make those enrollments happen, right? Like, it's not about the fact that you sent 100 messages. It's about the fact that you got 10 haps up and you got 6 potentials from it. That's what I care more about. How many new potentials do you have every single day? I don't care how hard you're working. I don't care if you have to send 400 messages and Julia has to send 50. Boo-hoo, cry yourself in the corner, cry me a fucking river. Pardon my French, and I'm going to put a preface on this. Okay, this is, and I don't say this to be mean. Like, I hope that you guys understand that this is out of love, and this is out of the fact that I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. And what I did is got complacent, and I got too overwhelmed with the organization, because that's not me. So I was watching Jade Hooper videos on organization. I was watching how to become organized with my potentials, all my things, but I was focusing on the wrong thing. I'm trying to solve something that is literally not, like, I'm trying to be perpendicular to my personality when I should be running parallel, right? Run with yourself, not against. It's the same thing with your team, but you also got to remember that with yourself. Me trying to be organized is like punching myself in the face and telling me to stop. No, I'm not an organized person. So what I need to do is make a list with the top priorities at the top, and this is what I need to do. I have 100 messages and screenshots from my newbies. Okay, they can wait. I have to do my self-development in the morning, and that kind of segues into your next point, Julia, which you made so many, but control your first 30 minutes of your time. Madison, will you find that video from Ed Milet of the first 30 minutes of your day? It's like something, it's called like the best thing you can do in the morning or something like that. Watch this video. Again, I'm giving you guys so much homework, but I hope that you truly do take it to heart. And I'm not giving you homework because this is a school assignment and like I hope that you complete it. No, if you're serious about your business and you're serious about learning the tools that we're providing you with, because that's what we're doing, go watch them. I don't care if you're tired. Go watch them. Anyways, the other thing that you said that is so huge, and I want to just completely compress into so many of our Zooms that we've had recently, is this team is thinking so small. There's hundreds of people on this team that are actively working. There's thousands on this team. There's hundreds that are actively working. And my question to you is, why the hell did you join me? Or why did you join the person that you joined? I guarantee you, just like Julia said, it's for a selfish reason, and that's okay. It always starts with the selfish reason. But are you even achieving why you selfishly joined? And I don't ask you that to say or to give you shade that you haven't reached that yet, because just like she said, I was worried about my dreams taking too long, or maybe that was Nat, and I have to go back, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But I'm asking you that because just like and I've hit it on it so many times tonight, this isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is a business. You guys joined to replace your full-time income to stay home with your kids. Or you joined to make an extra $200 a month just so that you can buy groceries because you've been living off food stamps. Or you don't even have gas in your car right now, and instead of asking a family member for $20 to put some gas in it, you're trying to make it for yourself. Are you doing the work? Are you doing the work? It's as simple as that. When I say no one's going to show up for you, and I say no one's going to save you, again, it's not to be cute, you guys. It's because we can talk about all day long. We can sit here and we can have these conversations. We can have these Zooms. We can go through all the things. I can tell you exactly what to do every single day to be successful. But if you're not showing up for yourself and why you joined this, and you don't have like Nat in front of her 24/7, why she joined this business, you're never going to succeed. It goes the same thing with your charts. If you don't know where you're headed, you're never going to get there. So are you achieving the things that you want to achieve? And not that you're achieving them right this second, but that you're working towards them every single day. And if you can't recognize that, then that's something that you're going to have to work on with yourself. So I'm going to let you answer the last question while I run to the bathroom because I really have to pee. But what is one tip for someone who feels overwhelmed or defeated right now?
So I pretty much already said what I had written down for my one tip. I didn't prep very well for this, you guys, and I just get and go on tangents. But get it done. That's what I had. And then the next thing I had was create your own 6 list. So whatever is working for you. What I do, I'm looking at it right now. I'm like in the corner of my room, all like set up with my old phone to do the Zoom so I could be using my other phone. And it's like propped on my Yeti so that and like my diffuser's holding it up on the side. Anyway, I'm super organized as well. So if you get the point. But I wrote my 6 list on a piece of paper and I taped it on the lamp that's on my nightstand. And so create your own 6 list. Find out what works for you. If organization and having, like, I have a binder too, but there's like a bunch of crap all over it and it's dusty because like it doesn't work for me. So just finding what works for you. Like I just said, get it done was what I had. That was my, if you feel overwhelmed, get it done, and then breaking it down into your own personal 6 list. What works for you? What's most important to you? So for me on my 6 list, top of the list is self-development, messaging, posting, interaction, and checking in with my team, and coffee story. My coffee story is always like I do that before I do absolutely anything. So just to get that done, and I can do my self-development while I drink my coffee and all the things. So that's just short and sweet. That's what I had. I feel like there's a couple things I wanted to add, but I don't remember. So.
Well, think about it for a sec. I'm going to ask all of you guys to drop one question or one thing in the comments that you've been struggling with. And I'm going to pick 1 or 2 and kind of bounce off of them really quick. So I want every single person to drop something in the chat. And again, I just want you guys to know that the reason that we get so fired up about this, the reason that we do these Zooms is just to get you excited and to show you the things that we've gone through and for you not to make the same mistakes, right? And like we talk about all these things not because we want to sit here and like hear our own voices for an hour, but because we want to truly pour into you and show you, like my job is to show you how to be successful. It's not to make you happy. So when we hop on these Zooms and we give all these tips, I hope that y'all are truly taking notes and truly, not just taking this all in, but really breaking it down to how you've been looking at your business or how you need to talk to your distributors or whatever. And there's so much that we could go over, you guys, but I want to just do like another 2 minutes and then we're going to be done because we've had so many amazing tips.
That's okay.
No, go ahead. If you remember what you were going to say.
It's on my notes. I'm such a
yeah.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, I said break it down into your own 6 list, but also all we do, you guys, is build relationships, gather distributors, and sign loyal customers. That's all we do. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, just break it down. It's not that complicated. It's so simple. And then also something I didn't touch on enough that I really wanted to touch on, I don't know why I didn't talk about it, is consistency. I stayed so consistent in my business. Even I only slacked maybe 5 times where I didn't post on my stories, you guys. For a year, I have posted about my business at least once a day, every single day, except maybe 5 times. And literally while I was talking about how I quit my job at my management job, whatever, I had my ex, she's not with the company anymore either, but she was our area manager. She quit right before, like at the same time I left. And so that's why I kind of left too, is because she was with me that whole time and she was kind of like, shoots, this sucks. So I was like, cool, I'm out too. It was a perfect out for me, but she texted me while I was talking about my old job and goes, been watching your coffee vids every AM. Consistency, you guys. My old boss has been watching me and I used to be so scared of her. Like, consistency. Okay, whoever has questions.
It's not so much a question, but I have something to add along that.
Go for it.
About consistency. So I was just telling Bree, I was just messaging her. I was like, if you're laying in bed at night and you're watching TV and you realize that, 20 minutes has gone by and you haven't taken 5 minutes out of that 20 minutes to interact with somebody on Facebook or IG, or you haven't sent 20 messages, you're not truly utilizing your time. Sitting here, I don't know if you've noticed, I've been facing my phone, like working with Bree and messaging myself, and I'm just trying to make the time that I have, like, utilize it the best that I can. Like I was saying, I go at work to the bathroom literally 500 times a day. I don't even care if people thought I have IBS or still think I have IBS, because I still do it. But like, I sit in the bathroom and I just message people. Like, utilize the small increments of time that you have to the best of your ability, because it will benefit you tomorrow. It'll benefit you tonight. It'll make it so it is so much easier for you. You will start learning how to utilize it. You'll be like, oh, okay, well, here I am sitting here. Like, what should I be doing? Yeah, I'm listening to everybody speak, and yeah, I'm getting some really great tips, but I could also be building my business while other people are helping me. That's just something I had to put in there.
No, that's perfect. And you guys, like, we've been going a while, so I want you all to drop a 1 in the comments really quick, just because I want to make sure y'all are still awake. We have so much good things to drop here, and I don't want to cut it short just because we've been on so long, just because I think that, especially with this being recorded, there are so many tips that I just want y'all to be able to go look back on. And because you guys are struggling with this stuff right now, I just want to touch on it really quick. But I wanted to kind of go off of what they were saying really quick. And there's a video in the team page. I'm not sure which team page yet. I've got to like get through all that stuff right now as we're making this transition. But there's a video that Rochelle did that's called Secret Sauce. And she talks about taking quitting off the table. So when we talk about the secret to this business, I'm going to give you a huge secret. The secret to success. If you want to make $30,000 a month with this business, if you want to be Black Diamond 2.0, listen to what I'm about to say. Okay? Is you have to take quitting off the table. If you haven't already, tonight, right now, while you're watching this, you are taking quitting off the table. I don't care if it takes 10 years. I don't care if it takes 6 months for you to go ambassador. You're taking quitting off the table. Write quit in the chat if you're taking quitting off the table. You are showing up for your business every single day. There's going to be more and less on certain days. Every day looks different. Every mood looks different. Every mindset, all the things. Oh, I love it. You guys, quit. I love it. There's no more quitting off the table. So stop complaining about what's not working for you or how many loyal customers you're not signing, and get to work. And the thing that I'm going to end this Zoom on, because there's so many more we could touch on, and I'm going to answer one of the questions so I didn't forget. But the one thing that I'm going to end on is, you guys, there are going to be times that you feel discouraged. There are going to be times where you want to quit. And I told Brittany this today, and I'm going to call her out because I'm just that type of person, and because I'm seeing your face. There are going to be times we all feel like, I feel like quitting every single day. I'm going to be the first person to admit that. I don't care. That's not something to be ashamed of. I feel like quitting every single day. But when I look at my daughter and I look at my why, and I look at the fact that I want more than what my life is right now, and that's why I joined this business, I will not give up on myself. And I will not give up on you guys. You will never see me quit this business, no matter how much I want to, because the difference between people who are successful and people who are not are those who stick it out. Don't just give it a year. Give it till you're exactly where you want to be, and then go for more. Okay? So, let me read some of these. I've been struggling with self-belief and self-worth, not letting my life distract me, pretty much, staying dedicated after no's, and struggling staying organized. Okay, these are all so many. The organized thing I feel like we really touched on. Just try to, instead of focusing on being organized, if that's not your strong suit, make priority lists. Keep it to 5 things. I always try and keep it under 5 things so that I don't overwhelm myself. And I always try to mix life in with business. So I usually do like 3 more business things because my business is more important to me than my laundry. So I'll do 3 things that are extremely important to me in my business, which is completing my 6 list, reaching out to a team member and making them feel valued, reaching out to all my loyal customers about the new promo that's going on right now. Like maybe that's my 3 thing for the day. And then my 2 for my life is spending 3 hours of uninterrupted, no phone time with Oakland. That's really important to me. And also maybe doing my laundry because I'm really bad about that. So that was what I would say about being organized. As far as being discouraged with no's, Bree, there's a really good video by Morgan McIntyre. Her name now is Morgan Martin, but her video on YouTube is Morgan McIntyre, and it's called like Morgan McIntyre When Somebody Tells You No. And that's a really, really good video to watch. So I would suggest watching that as soon as possible. I'm not going to beat it into the bush because that video is just purely gold. So if you guys are struggling with feeling discouraged when somebody tells you no or rejects you, that's the first video that I would watch. Another video, and I'm going to suggest videos for most of the things you guys are telling me right now about your life distracting you or feeling like this is for you. 2 things that I want to say about that. Number 1, it's really easy to let things distract you when you're not obsessed with your goal. Be obsessed or be average, right? Being average is the fact that you join this business, you're going to work half-assed, you're never going to make an extra income because you could give 2 shits about this business and you're just really doing it to prove yourself right that this isn't going to work for you. Or you're going to work like we've shown you and like we've been talking about on this whole Zoom, and you're going to become obsessed. You're going to become obsessed with your goals. You're going to become obsessed with helping other people. You're going to become obsessed with working this business because it's everything you've ever freaking asked for. And it may take a while. And that's a pill that you might have to swallow. For some people, it takes a year. For some people, it takes a month. For some people, it takes 10 years. Again, I don't care how long it takes you. You've already taken quitting off the table, and now you just need to become obsessed. Okay, there's another Ed Milet video that's, or actually a really good book instead of Ed Milet, so that I'm not just recommending the same things, is Be Obsessed or Be Average. Mads, if you'll put that in the chat, by Grant Cardone. Be Obsessed or Be Average. Super good audiobook. But the one thing that I want to touch on, and then we're going to end it because we've been on for so long, is struggling with self-belief. And the one and only thing that I'm going to say is get the hell over yourself. And it's as simple as that. Like, if you feel like you don't deserve this business, shoot, what was the name of the last video? Be Obsessed or Be Average by Grant Cardone. When Somebody Tells You No by Morgan McIntyre. I think that was the one that maybe you're asking for. Shoot, what was I saying? What was my train of thought before then? Oh, it was Madison's question. Dealing with self-worth. You guys are being selfish. I'm sorry. Feeling like you're unworthy is one of the most selfish acts. Because by you not feeling worthy enough, is you not working your business to its fullest potential and having a crappy mindset, which is in turn going to help no one. There's another, I don't know, I'm going to put it in the chats. Hang on. This is another one. You Are Worthy Heffa, and it's by Ashley Mayfield. It's an old video, but essentially, you guys, what it comes down to feeling unworthy and feeling like you don't deserve this, or maybe you're never going to achieve it because you just are unlucky, you're wrong. And if you don't believe in yourself, I believe in you. And I don't believe in God, but if you do, then God called you. But I believe in higher power, the universe, believe whatever you want to believe. What I'm about to tell you, take into your own context. You were called. Every single person on this Zoom and on this team was called to do this. This isn't your career. This isn't a side hustle. This is your calling, whether you like it or not, and you can utilize it to your advantage and to everybody else's advantage or not. You just have to decide, y'all. You have to just do the work, and not for you, but for everyone else. And that's when it all changes, because we join for selfish reasons. But here's the thing, your success is inevitable, and so's your paycheck, boo-boo. Your paycheck is going to come with the value that you can provide to others, point blank, period. You are not paid based off your efforts. And it goes back to the coin pusher versus, or the coin pusher mentality video by Carrie Young. You're not putting in hours to put in hours. You're putting, uh-oh, is Brittany trying to talk? I can't hear. Anyways, you guys, I want you to understand that, and this is what I'll end it on is, and I've said that 4 times, but this is really what I'm going to end it on, is there's nothing special about anyone at the top of the company. They're the girls you went to high school with. They're the girls that you played football with. They're the guys that were the soccer with. They're the guys that you played football with. Like, whatever it is, they're just normal people. And so am I, and so is everybody else on this team. And what you have to recognize, again, is that nobody's coming to save you, and that you are just as freaking capable. You're feeling unworthy because of a couple things. Either you're feeling unworthy because you're not doing enough self-development, or you're feeling unworthy because you're not doing enough work and you feel guilty about it. And that's something that's on your conscience. And that's something that you may have to take a look at. And that's not just Mads, that's anyone that's feeling that way. And I've felt that way a lot. And the most times that I'm feeling unworthy, it's because I'm feeling the most ungrateful and I'm not working hard and I'm trying to give myself an excuse. And it sucks. But sometimes I get lazy. And sometimes I get complacent. And sometimes I want to make myself feel better about the way that I'm acting. And that's just reality. So if nothing's been more apparent, do your self-development and do the work. Nat, did you have something to add?
I was just going to say, it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to be lazy for a minute, but then you need to make that up. Like, you need to go back and you need to say, you know what, last night I took 30 minutes to message. That's fine. Tonight, I'm going to have to do an hour. I'm going to have to friggin' interact for 20 minutes because I know I didn't do it last night. So it's okay to take breaks. It is totally fine. Do your thing. Go at your pace, whatever you want to do, but make up for it. Don't let yourself continue that. Don't say, tomorrow I'm going to take a break too. Oh, and then it turns into the next day. And then you realize 2 weeks have gone by and you're like, I've literally done nothing. Now I have 2 weeks worth to make up for when I could have just taken a 30-minute break the night before, or I could have just went to bed early and then made up for it in the morning and then at night or whatever the next day. Don't fall into a hole when you're taking a break. That's all I wanted to say. And I learned that the hard way.
No, that's perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, yay, you guys. I'm so glad. Oakland needs to go to bed. She did wake up late, so she's having a little bit of a later bedtime today. But I'm so glad that you added that, and it really is true. So thank you guys all for your input, and hang on, I'm going to stop the recording.